Presenting Jahanara Imam's short story Astro, translated as The Weapon by Sarmistha Dutta Gupta. Feeling absolutely ravenous, Mafiz began to walk so fast that his three comrades could not keep pace. Rashid said, "Why are you in such a hurry? Can't you slow down a bit?" Manir agreed. "My legs will give away any minute. We haven't eaten anything at all today. And now you're making us run." Mafiz barked at them. "That is precisely why we need to reach home immediately. If you rest now, you won't be able to move later. We have to reach home somehow and dump ourselves on the veranda. No more worries after that. Steaming rice, dal, hot spicy fish, or maybe some tasty vegetables." Ashik cut him short. "Mafiz can only think about food," he laughed. "Why shouldn't I? If you don't recharge the engine on time, will it work?" Laughing and talking along the way, they finally reached home. But something was wrong. Why was there no light? The main door was wide open. It was very dark and still inside. All four of them shuddered. Mafiz cried out in a cracked voice, "Oh God! Have they killed my sister?" He was about to enter the house when Manir tugged at his shirt. "Stop! You never know who might be waiting inside to ambush us. Take your positions." The four comrades took up arms. First, Manir fired a shot in the air, but there was no response. After waiting for a minute or so, Mafiz shouted, "Chubby? Chubby run! Kalarma! Where are you?" No one replied. Then Ashek and Rashid, holding their rifles, went round the house in opposite directions, walking on tiptoe, while Mafiz advanced through the main door. Manir followed closely behind with his gun. There was no one inside, no enemy ready to ambush them, not someone like Chabiran waiting to serve them a meal. They went into the courtyard and took turns to shout out the names of Chabiran and Kalarma. After some time, they heard something wet and heavy moving at the back of the house, as if someone was walking, sopping wet and dripping water everywhere. Mafiz called again, "Chubby? Kalarma? Where have you disappeared to?" This time, they heard Chubby's voice. "Bhaijan, here we are. There's a lamp in the kitchen. Light it, please." Mafiz went to the kitchen and struck a match to find the lamp. He was shocked to see pans and bowls scattered all over the place. It was difficult to find anything in such a mess. He came out and lit another match. "What's all this? Did a monster raid the house or something? I can't find the lamp. Come and look for it yourself." Chabiran wrapped her wet sari more closely round her body. Then, bowing her head low, she crossed the courtyard and entered the kitchen. The wet, dripping sounds that they had heard became clear to them now. Someone must have entered the house, either the army or the Rajakars, and the two women must have gone down into the pond at the back of the house and hidden there. When they had heard familiar voices, they had come up. But who could have come in? There was no army posting in the village, and there were no Rajakars either. Mafiz lit one match after another till Chabiran found the lamp. "Let me change my sari," she said. "You all go and have a wash, and then I'll cook you some khichuri with rice and dal. You can hear what happened after you've eaten." The kitchen was where Chubby slept too. It was quite a large room. One side of it was used for cooking. On the other side, there was a cot. A mat and pillows lay on it. A few clothes were hanging from a string. In a corner of the room, some new earthen pots were piled up. Chubby kept all her personal belongings in these pots. Mafiz walked out of the kitchen. Chubby went to a corner and changed her sari. Then she called out to Kalarma. Her room was right behind their house, within earshot. She too had changed her sari in the meantime. She came to the kitchen and asked, "What shall we cook for dinner?" "Chop some onions and potatoes, quick. I am going to make a khichdi. Didn't we have some eggs? Let's put those and the potatoes and onions into the khichdi. We have to get the food ready fast. You know how hungry they are, especially Bhaijan. Forever famous." Chubby laughed. They finished dinner and heard the women's story. In the late afternoon, Chabiran and Kalarma had gone for a dip in the pond behind their house. Suddenly, they had heard unfamiliar voices, and guessing who they could be, they went down in the water and swam across to the other side under the shadow of trees drooping over the pond. They stayed in the water, barely managing to breathe by keeping their noses above water. Rashid asked, "Any idea who they were?" "No, we didn't get to see them. We went and hid under the water as soon as we heard those voices, but some of them were speaking in Urdu. We even heard 2 gunshots." Ashek said in a worried tone, "I don't really understand. We have never had any Rajakars here, nor has the army been around. So who could they have been?" "Let's go to Moti Bhai. He might be able to give us some clues." Motiur Rahman was the chairman of the Union Council. His house was virtually a haven for the soldiers of the Liberation War. The army had not attacked the village until then, nor were there any Rajakars. So the Liberation Army could roam freely, flouting their grenades and rifles and setting out on their missions. Rahman was sitting in his office, surrounded by people. As soon as Mafiz and his friends entered, he said, "Oh, Mafiz Mia, we cannot operate from here anymore. An army camp has been set up near the bridge at Betaldihi. Remember the part of the bridge you blew up last month? They have begun to repair that. They will build a bunker too. They need laborers. They have sent orders for all of us. We have to send laborers from our respective unions to work for free. I'll have to send 10 laborers each from all 9 villages under my union. Just our luck." "Betaldihi is a good 5 miles from here, isn't it? I believe they came to our village today." "So they did. They came with their orders, a captain and 10 soldiers. There were some Rajakas from Betaldihi also. They came to my office, gave me the orders, and left the village." "No, Moti Bhai, they didn't return straight away. They entered our house." Motiur Rahman was shocked. "Did they? How is it that we didn't hear of it? What exactly happened? Tell us in detail." Mafiz narrated what Chabiran had told them. Rahman was silent for a few moments. Then he said, "They are going to come back again. You all must leave the village immediately and camp elsewhere. It is no longer safe for the Liberation Army to be here." While they were talking, some other villagers came and reported that the army men had raided their houses too on their way back and had taken away fruits, vegetables, chickens, anything they could lay their hands on. Rahman sighed. Then he advised, "Keep the women safely inside, let them be in parda. Don't let them go out. These men have bad intentions. I've heard enough about their misdeeds. We should all pray that nothing like that happens in our village." Back home, Mafiz told Chabiran and Kalarma what he had heard. When she was told that her brother and his friends would be leaving the village, Chabiran began to cry. Mafiz tried to comfort her. "Why are you crying? We won't be gone very far, only a few miles from here. Kalarma can sleep in your room at night, and Kala can sleep outside on the veranda. There's nothing to be afraid of." "No, Bhaijan, take me with you. Are you crazy? You're a woman. Where can we go with you tagging along?" "Why, take me wherever you are going. I'll cook and clean up for you and wash your clothes. Don't be silly. We won't even know whether we will have a roof over our heads or whether we might have to spend the nights under a tree. Listen, there is no reason to be afraid. There are so many people in the village. I'll ask Moti Bhai, Baset Chacha, and some others to look after you. Kala can go to the market for you. He paused a little, then tried to make a feeble joke. It will be good for you when we leave. You won't need to sleep in the kitchen anymore. Get back to your own room and sleep comfortably. But Chabiran went on sobbing. Finally, she said, Then give me a weapon before you go. Mafis was bewildered. Weapon? What do you need a weapon for? Why? I'll kill those men if they come again. Her brother smiled sadly. Oh, sister, how naive you can be. You think you will be able to shoot the Pakistani soldiers with an old, outdated rifle? They can kill scores of people within a few seconds by firing just one from their Sten guns. Forget this idea. Stay here quietly. Don't go out much. Say your prayers regularly and there will be no trouble. I'll come sometimes at night and see you. Weapon! I must get hold of a weapon. Bhaijan, I couldn't tell you the other day that I had asked for a weapon not to kill those Pakistani soldiers but to save myself, save my body from being violated by them. I could at least have killed myself before falling into their hands. What should I do now? I have lost my honor, yet I am still alive. They have defiled me. Now how do I destroy my body? Chabiran kept mumbling to herself as she swam in circles round and round the pond. Kalarma came looking for her and exclaimed, Oh God, you've gone down into the water again even with such a high fever? Do you want to die? Chabiran got out of the pond and said in a strange tone, Don't worry, Kalarma. I won't die till I have killed those men. Kalarma looked at Chabiran's fiery eyes and saw signs of great danger. The day before, 3 Pakistani soldiers and a Rajakar had come at night and raped the girl. Chabiran had been half out of her mind since. Throughout yesterday, she had kept going back to the pond for dips and caught a fever. Yet she could not be restrained. Kalarma had wanted to leave this place along with Chabiran and her son after it had happened. But Chabiran would not be budged. Yes, she could run away. But how would she know that the men would not come back that day? So she had decided she would first kill them and then kill herself. Kalarma was convinced that Chabi had gone mad. Was it possible for any woman to remain sane under such circumstances? The day before, Kalarma had gone to the chairman's house and reported everything to him. He asked her to bring Chabiran over to his place, but Chabi would not agree. Kalarma was in a fix. She was afraid to stay here. At the same time, she couldn't leave Chabiran alone and go away. She was fortunate to have been away in her own house for a while on that ill-fated evening. Otherwise, she too would not have been spared. The scoundrels had not come that night, but Kalarma had kept watch all night so that she could escape through the back door if she heard them. Perhaps they would come back tonight? In fact, the chances were quite high. Last time there had been 3 of them. Who knew how many would come next time? Kalarma said to Chabiran, You don't even know what you are saying. How do you think you are going to kill them? Do you have any weapon? Indeed, I have a very fine weapon. I hadn't seen it, didn't realize it earlier. Now I know how sharp it is. I should be able to kill quite a few of them. Kalarma, come into the house, please. You have to take an urgent message immediately. Kalarma was very worried. Take it where? To the village where Bhaijan is camping with his friends. Go and tell him that he should come here with some of his comrades after 2 nights. I have invited a few Pakistani soldiers and some Rajakars to dinner. Bhaijan should come and kill those dogs then. Kalarma was bewildered. She thought Chabiran must have gone completely mad. She held the girl close to her and brought her inside the house, helped her change her sari and sat her down on the bed. Then, drying her hair, she told Chabiran, "Calm down, my dear. It was your ill fate. What can you do about it? Say your prayers, plead for Allah's mercy. He will surely bring you peace." Chabiran jerked her head away fiercely. "Stop talking rot, Kalarma. When my brothers are starving for days and spending sleepless nights, why should I sit idle and waste time in crying and pleading? I have found a weapon. My brothers are fighting the Khan Senas with their rifles and grenades. I too am going to kill the bastards with my newfound weapon. Hurry, Kalarma. Go right now. There isn't much time. All my plans will be ruined if we delay."